Hello, it is the 31st of October 2019. I've got a couple of days off of work. The sun is shining and it is dry. It hasn't rained for the past couple of days. I'm going to have to go outside and have a look at the bees. Also, I'd quite like to have a sneaky peek underneath the hives and see what I can see as far as cluster sizes, because that would be an interesting thing. And it's something I've not really done before. So I've got a selfie stick here. So let's go out in the garden and have a look and see. Right, let's go see what they're up to. Hello, Charlie. What are you doing enjoying sunshine? Look at that, got some pollen going in. Good strong colony. They don't... maybe I shouldn't put the mouse guard on just yet. Charlie, you going to say hello? You saying hello? Why'd you have to go get in a bag? Huh? What you doing? Should I make you a little veil? Charlie? Charlie? Look at him. Give a cat bag and they just take over. Look at that. He's just not bothered, is he? Let me get these matchsticks out. And I need... Oi! Oi! No! Not... Charlie! Excuse me? Hello? How do you do? Nice to meet you. No, Charlie, no, no. That's my bag and I want to get my stuff out of it, please. I need my hive tool. Charlie, no. No! He can be a right little bugger sometimes, excuse my French. Up, up. Oh, now look. What the... Come on, out. Come on, off. Off! Charlie. Shall we have a look underneath the hive and see what's occurring? So I've stuck the phone right underneath. Probably about dead on central to the bottom box. And I'd imagine they'd be fairly active. I'm moving to the right hand side now. And we'll move back again. About 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm at Dad's now. Wow, look at this. the bees everywhere. Orientation flights. These bees are active as well. Obviously they've got the sunshine on them, so that makes a huge difference. Shadier part of the garden, but we've still got bees coming and going. Hive 2. This is the hive I'm worried about. I don't think we've got a queen in action here. Oh no, there's some bees coming out. The Barrow hive is in a part of the garden that's a lot shadier, but it is warmer today and we've got more activity this afternoon. Here comes Dad. Aye aye?
Oh yeah, this one looks pretty quiet.
I know, I'm a bit worried about it. I don't know whether it's got a queen or not.
And there's one bee just came in. Yeah.
Decisions.
The ones that are coming in don't appear to... Oh, that one's got pollen on it. Yeah, that one's got pollen. That one's got pollen.
Has it?
Yeah.
No, it hasn't. Got no pollen whatsoever. No pollen.
No. Oh, the other's bringing in pollen.
Yes. Let's have a little look underneath the hive. So the first thing I'm noticing is that the bees are all running around aimlessly. That's my first red flag. You can't quite see, but this cluster seems to be on the right hand side of the bottom brood box. The cluster isn't covering the entire bottom of the brood box. I'm going to check this one out and try and go get a better view underneath this little single brood box here. When you compare Hive 2 with this single brood box, any bees that are running around are running across the frames with some sort of purpose. You can see in between the two stalls that this box is sitting on. And they're nice and quiet. They're in the centre of the brood box. Again, it's a small colony. This colony came from a double nuke. This is under the Judas tree swarm colony. There's a bar right underneath this hive. But you can see the clusters of bees are covering the underneath of the frames as well, so they're a stronger colony. Here's another shot from a different perspective where you can see the cluster, and it seems like they're on 1, 2, 3, about four and a half, maybe 5 seams of bees here. This. See where the cluster is. Just there, I think. Let's have a look underneath this hive and see. I mean, that is a really strong colony. If I move my camera down, I can see a lot more under here. That's better. Again, about 6 seams of bees there, and they cover the bottoms of the frames. So there's a strong cluster in the bottom brood box. Simmered down now, that hive. Let's go in from underneath there. This is the honeybound hive, And again, it's lowered to the floor, so you can't quite see like you can from other shots of other hives. 2 frames there that aren't covered, but you can see the darkness shows that the bees are covering the bottom of the frames. The temperature is so much warmer because of the sunshine. And one thing I completely forgot was that this hive is a cold ways hive, whereas all my other hives are facing warm ways, as it were. And the entrance there is on the left hand side of the shot. But they're nice and calm. They're covering the entire central area of the brood box. Do the same again with hive 1. Going in sideways. See where the cluster is? Yeah. It's a smaller cluster in this colony because we've got a single brood box. Definite big cluster in there. Mm-hmm. So, from looking at the under the hives, I can say I've definitely got, I would say, 6 going into winter with queens. Hive 2, although it's hard to be sure, but my bets are hive 2 is looking dubious. Here's what I could see under each of my hives. Comparing the cluster sizes underneath the mesh floors is a good exercise in trying to establish how many seams of bees I have going into winter. But there's a few red flags with hive 2 that have got my suspicions up about the state of the queen inside the hive, or a lack of queen perhaps. Number 1, quite a few bees are running around inside the bottom of the mesh floor in a scatty fashion. It seems like they don't have a purpose, or that they're just running around in a complete panic. Number 2, what was a strong colony seems to be reduced a lot in size now. Number 3, the cluster seems to be located on the right hand side of the bottom of the brood box, and it only seems to cover half of the frames, not like the centre of the brood box. Of course, the biggest red flag is the entrance to hive 2. With hardly any activity or pollen detective entering, this worries me quite a bit. I'm not saying the colony is queenless. If they did lose their original queen and had to replace her, it's likely the new queen hasn't mated, or mated poorly. Remember, we have had really bad weather this autumn. It's been incredibly wet and it's been really cold. The only remedy would be for me to combine hive 2 with the single brood box, but I don't particularly relish opening hive 2 up in temperatures of 9 degrees Celsius, looking for an unmarked, dark virgin-sized queen. Plus, there would be the risk if I don't locate her. There's always the possibility, as she's small, she could go straight through a queen excluder and she or her bees could kill my good laying queen that I've got in the single brood box. I treated for Varroa this year using MAC strips, and although it hasn't been a problem in the past, I do know that MAC strips sometimes does cause queenlessness in colonies. Do you think hive 2's queenless? What a palaver.